Eagles Giants highlights on the way. Will Selva's out in the newsroom in Culver City this morning. Will, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on there, Kay and guys? Happy Tuesday to you. And we know the following story will be met with, see, I told you, Lamar Jackson can't stay healthy running all the time takes. But here goes. The Ravens quarterback listed as limited with a quad injury. It should be pointed out that Baltimore did not practice. Head coach John Harbaugh calming the masses by saying the injury occurred during the win against the Bills and is not expected to be serious. Jackson has not missed a game at all this season. It's a short week for Jackson and company as they get ready to take on the Jets on Thursday Night Football. Jackson is 23 yards away from breaking Michael Vick's single-season QB rushing record of 1,039. The Ravens breathing another sigh of relief when it comes to their tight end Mark Andrews. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting Andrews' knee injury is considered minor. According to Ian, Andrews should be okay moving forward. He played just 9 snaps on Sunday and leads the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. The Bucs quarterback Jameis Winston visiting a hand specialist for his thumb injury. Tests revealing, though, there is no risk of further damage to the thumb. The team is optimistic he can close out the season. Winston coming off a performance where he threw for a career-high 456 passing yards. There's also optimism regarding another high-profile quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. His injured throwing hand did not reveal a break, and according to Rap Sheet, the Chiefs believe he'll be able to play with it moving forward. Mahomes is the first QB under 25 years old to win a road game against the Patriots since Minnesota's Dante Culpepper in Week 3, 2000. The Vikings won that game 21-13. That was 3 years before Nathaniel Eugene Lionblood Burleson LLC DDS Jr. PhD
TDS.
was there. Yes, all of those things.
You forgot second boat.
PG-13
Yeah, second boat too. That was it. That's what we got.
Second boat.
Fred Smoot. Yes.
Not the SS Smoot.
All right, Selva, we love you. We'll talk to you in a bit. Guys, we're sitting here and there's only 3 games left in the regular season. Sad, but it's been such a great year. These playoffs are going to be ridiculous. We're in the home stretch, so let's break down the hottest playoff scenarios. It's something we call Believe It or Not. Bing. Starting in the AFC, well done. Texans currently sit in the number 4 seed, but Schrags, believe it or not, the Titans are the favorites. Your favorites to win the South.
I can't say yes, Kay. I can't say yes because they play twice in the final 3 weeks. The Texans are the defending division champions. They can still right the ship here, and I still believe in Deshaun Watson. Yeah. As great as Tannehill and the Titans have played, and as bad as that loss was against the Broncos, Deshaun Watson's got 2 chances here, this week and Week 17 against the Tennessee Titans, to right this thing. And I've seen too many big wins from this Houston team, whether it be the win against New England on a Sunday night, or whether it be the work that they did against the Chiefs. I still think the Houston Texans have what it takes and have the guys in there to thwart the Titans, despite the Titans being red hot.
See him against Denver?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
tough.
I also saw him against the Patriots.
I know. I think the favorites will be Houston. They have a more famous superstar quarterback. Maybe they've been there a little more. They also have a slightly easier schedule. You know, you play the Texans and Titans play twice. Houston gets the Bucs, where the Titans get the Saints, which is very tough. This whole thing hedges to me on Derrick Henry's health. There's a whole thing where he was banged up last week. He says, quote, "Ain't no quitting in me." If Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry, I don't think they can do it. As good as Tannehill has been, this has been the superstar. So track it very closely. All the Rappaports and Peloceros of the world, those 2 guys really hold the key to the AFC South, if you ask me.
He tried coming back in that game, and Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, was like, no, you're done.
That's not good. I don't like it. But maybe that was because they were killing the Raiders. I don't know. 22 is the whole key for it. If he's healthy, I think the Titans win.
Yeah,
Tom Pelissero has the key.
That's it. He's the guy. And his beautiful daughter. She's a very talented girl. Great hair.
You mentioned Houston, Trey, and that's funny because in Week 14, the Titans put up 522 yards, and that was the most since the Houston Oilers back in '91.
I love the Oilers.
I'm going to say it's the Titans. You said that I've seen the Texans have these big wins and even bigger letdowns. And that's the unfortunate thing. As much as we love Deshaun Watson and that offense, if Will Fuller isn't on the field, it's going to change how I look at this offense. It's going to change the way defenses play against this offense. And on top of that, the Titans aren't the old Titans where it's like, oh, they're going to put up 17 points.
I totally agree.
They're probably going to beat you. Well, they're on a 4-game win streak, and they're putting up 38 points a game.
I agree.
Doesn't that seem odd for
They have moxie.
the Ryan Tannehill-led Titans? not only is Derrick Henry, if healthy, can run the ball as good as any running back, but they're throwing the ball as good as any team in the business.
I know.
So I'm going to go with the Titans, man. They're very opportunistic. And if the Texans go out there and play around and they fumble a ball or some errant balls go through that secondary for the Titans will make them pay.
If I'm a Texans fan watching this right now, Schrager, I am annoyed AF. Because,
Really?
Yeah,
Are you?
You're the Texans. This is not a question who's the better team, who's going to win the division. In a year that Andrew Luck retires, you have DeAndre Hopkins, you've drafted your franchise quarterback. The only real injury you have is J.J. Watt. You're not the favorite. It's a crazy thing that's gone on lately. I wouldn't be happy because for me, the expectation for the Texans was to win the division. I feel like the Titans have a nice, cool underdog story going for that's impossible not to root for. But I don't think this should have been the conversation. It's not the one that we thought we'd be having going into this season.
Well, that's changed in a week.
Yeah.
It's a rough game they had on Sunday. If I'm the Titan, there's your AF. If I'm a Texans
If you're a
fan.
Titans fan, you're thinking, I watched Nick Foles go on some crazy run a couple years ago. I mean, why can't Tannehill
Big
be
rise.
And I think the Titans went from rebuilding to being reborn. Like, to your point,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, it's a cool story. We're trying to figure it out. Let's close this out because we're one of the better teams in the division. The Titans are playing like one of the best teams in football.
Tannehill's the second best fantasy quarterback since taking over. The first best is
balling,
Lamar
man.
Jackson.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Okay, let's go back to week 17 of last year. Remember where you were, what you were feeling, how cold it was. The Vikings were in a win-and-in scenario against the Bears and infamously lost by 2 touchdowns, allowing the Eagles to grab a playoff berth with a win. So, Kyle, this season the Vikings are sitting in that number 6 seed spot, a game up on the Rams as we enter the final 3 games of the regular season. Believe it or not, unlike last year, they will not fold down the stretch. Make your case.
I think they will not fold down the stretch. It's in a lot of ways it's fun to root for if you're into that type of thing. Kirk Cousins is sort of a caricature. He's an easy guy to make fun of if he doesn't play well. But he's been unbelievable. He's been like the best passing quarterback in all of football this year. I don't think even without Thielen he's been good. And even with Dalvin banged up, guys, I'm here for the drama. I think it would be really compelling if this thing happened objectively. I just don't think they have it in them. I think they have a fantastic quarterback and a fantastic offense that's carrying them. They're going to need a huge collapse, and maybe they'll lose one. I just don't think it's this year.
It was a season-long storyline at this table of, will Cousins win a big game? And he did. They beat the Cowboys on Sunday night. Then they had other big wins this season. It all comes down to this Green Bay game. Green Bay is coming to their building, and Cousins is going to be the favorite. Just beat the Packers, and all that stuff goes away. It really does. You get in the playoffs, you're playing playoff football, whether you win or lose, whatever. You go and you beat Aaron Rodgers. That's what we have to see. Do I think they're going to fold? No, I don't think they're going to fold. I think they had their stinker. I think they laid their egg. It was against the Broncos in the first half when they were down 24-0 to a Denver team that was led by Brandon Allen. Yeah. And then they found a way to win that game. I can't see them falling apart. There's too much at stake here, too much for them to just not show up in those games.
Yeah, there's conflicting reports that Thielen might be able to play, and then I think a day ago they said that he could miss his 4th straight game. I want to see what happens when Thielen gets back on the field because they're at full strength as well. You mentioned having an injury bug. They got that out the way. Cook is cooking.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is carrying the load. We know what Rudolph is going to do. If Thielen can come back healthy from that hamstring, I don't see these guys folding. There's something different about a lot of teams this year, and there's something different about a lot of players, and Kirk Cousins is one of them. There's something different about it.
I want to rapid fire this last one. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
New England losing 3 of their last 5 games. The offense hasn't been clicking. We've been talking about it all week and really all season long. Brady's passer rating is the worst that it's been since 2003. Believe it or not, quickly, the Patriots offense can still be fixed. Go.
Yeah, they got time. It's the Patriots. They were just in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to knock them or their coaching staff.
Is there any reinforcements? I don't know. With what they've got out there on the field, I mean, it's not like they were lighting it up in those wins against Dallas and Philly either. I don't see it suddenly being last year's offense at all.
I think the hot seat right now, listen, all we're hearing is McVay and Shanahan. Like, Josh McDaniels, we haven't said his name in months, I feel like. This is the original wonderkind. You got Julian Edelman, you have Mohamed Sanu, you have James White, you have Rex Burkhead, you have Sonny Michel. You can't get 25 points out of that? I think it can, and I think it will.
Not a team that makes excuses. Got to hold everybody to under 18 points, though, or 7, or under 20 points the rest of the way. More GMFB on the way. We will have your highlights from last night. Hopefully an update on Alshon Jeffrey. He is set to have an MRI this morning, and we have the greatest defensive player of all time joining the show.
LT.
Legend Lawrence Taylor in studio. And it's not surprising the Ravens are at the top of the power rankings, but there's a new team creeping in the top 5. Kyle, what are you going to do here?
Just going to do me, okay?